Principle number 7, the principle of the will. Good morning, friend. Good morning. You are an integral part of humanity. And good morning, slave companion. You are possibly surprised that I am calling you my companion in slavery. You should not be surprised at all, because you know well we are not free. We are in chains. We are enslaved, and unless we awaken and realize what enslaves us, we will probably end our lives in heavy chains. Or even worse, our children will be slaves as well, because they will have been raised by slave parents. What is it that enslaves us? Well, there are so many things that naming them would be an unending task. But everything that enslaves us has a root cause and a reason. One of the causes is the violation of the 7th principle, the mother principle that governs human actions. The violation of this principle maintains any individual helplessly enslaved. Your life is governed by laws, as well as are the sun and the stars. Everything in the universe is covered by laws of growth. But these are laws of light and life that have only one result for the person who understands and cares for them, his evolution and final liberation. The 7th principle states the following: if you pursue an end, you will be chained to it. But if you would do everything as if it were an end in itself, you will be free yourself. I repeat, if you pursue an end, you will be chained to it. But if you would do every little thing as if it were an end in itself, you will be liberated. My friend, let's analyze the first part of this principle. Get yourself a paper and pencil and write down the first part of this principle. If you pursue an end, you will be chained. I called you companion of slavery for this same reason, because you are chasing ends, a whole lot of ends. What are the goals and objectives you are chasing? You must meditate and reflect profoundly, and you have to sincerely and impartially write down all of your pursued goals, all the ends that you are pursuing. These ends are your masters. It is not important if all of these ends seem justified to you. Correct or not, true or not, that is not the point. For 49 days, every day, you must answer the question, which are the ends that I am after? Socially, economically, family-wise, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and culturally. What are the goals that I am following? After this exercise is carried through over 49 days, you will get to know the ends that form your chains. Let's go now to the second part of the analysis. Search your subconscious. What are the ends I am pursuing here? There are conscious ends, goals that we ourselves have established, and ends that are subconscious, which were planted in our essence by our parents, by life, by friends, and our teachers. Ends that are inlaid very deeply into our essence and are the motor, the dynamo, causing us to do things daily without our clear understanding for the reasons of our acts. These are your ends, your masters that do not leave you alone. These ends are the ideas in our minds, our emotions, and are the causes of our continual actions, which are mostly never completed. Well, they cannot be accomplished because it was not really you who consciously defined them based on your serious reasoning and meditation. These are not your real goals, nor your real ends. This is why you are enslaved this very instant, because your real goal and end have always been your liberation. Now I think you can clearly see how important it is for you to perform the two first parts of this analysis. The third part of the analysis starts with another question. What are the causes, the real reasons behind all those goals that you named? For each goal that you are pursuing, for each end that you are following, you have to ask yourself the question, why am I pursuing it? What is the real reason for my choosing this or that end? You will see there are many reasons, which in most cases are trivial and senseless. We can pursue an end because of vanity. We can do it for pride. We can do this or that for fear of criticism, fear of failure, fear of being hungry. There are thousands of reasons that make us follow an end. Let's look at the first part. If you follow an end, you chain yourself. You are chained, and I do not have to say to what, because the end itself is your master and your boss. From the moment when a human being is affixed to a goal, this goal takes possession of him. It starts to set aside everything in its way until its fulfillment. But as we start to work towards reaching that which we aim for, we find along the way many detours that present other goals. And after years have passed, we find ourselves moving in a vicious circle. If you follow an end, you will be chained to it. At this moment, my companion of slavery, you are pursuing many ends, and you have to uncover them. You have to find which are the conscious ends that supposedly you have set for yourself, and those that were planted in your mind since your earliest childhood through normal communications and your life environment and experiences. You must know the reasons, the true reasons, why they are the cause of these ends. Unless you arrive at the real reasons, you will not be able to be liberated of what you already have in your mind. You will see that there are generic ends. Everybody works, looks for a house, marries, has children. Have you not wondered why, being that people are so different from each other? We have to remember our common Creator made us with different combinations. There are no two people exactly the same over the face of the earth. Isn't it surprising then that all humans pursue basically the same ends? We all want to succeed at work. We all want to be nice people. We all want to have money. We all want to be married to a wonderful girl or man. We all want to have children who are geniuses. We all want beautiful houses and cars. We are machines. Yes, machines. You must realize this fact. You must awaken to this reality. You cannot say they are your goals when you are after something that millions and millions are after. Whose goals would they be? Are they your goals when millions of people also have it as their ends? No, it is not so. They are not your ends. No, my friend. You are a unique creation by a unique Creator for a unique end that no other person can reach but you. But while you are submerged in oblivion, in a fuzzy mentality, floating with the crowd, believing that you are the power behind your own evolution with your own ideas, the reality is that the ideas are driving you. You are being driven like sheep, whose herder fattens them for the purpose of cutting their fur and then selling them for slaughter. This is an ugly reality, but you must be aware of it. In your small world there are other people, family, relations, friends, workmates. Select 20 of them and ask every one what their goals are in their social, economic, family, educational, and work areas. Ask them to be honest and sincere. From this exercise, you will see that they are all after the same things. How is this possible? All minds are different, and yet millions of people are after the same ends. And of course, they are slaves to those ends. Remember, if you pursue an end, you are chained yourself. Well, what are we then to do? One cannot have goals, objectives, or wishes. Do we not aim to get something out of this life? How can we live then? Yes, there are many ways our Creator has foreseen for us. But first, you must realize that you have to be aware of how you became a slave by pursuing an end. Let's suppose that I set myself the objective of building a house. The house will turn into an image in my mind. The idea of the house, the idea of having my own home will be images in my mind, which will take possession of my thinking, my strength, and body. It will move everything inside my system. It will cause me to be blinded to many things around me because I'll be concentrating on the house. I'll start the process of finding my lot. This involves running around looking for it. Then the plans for the house. And meanwhile, my life is passing me by, my friend. We are not free people anymore. We are not living in the present anymore. The idea of building the house takes possession of us and will blind us for many years to come to everything that life and our spirit could bring to us. We shut our eyes and ears to anything else that is important because to us the only importance lies on building the house. I must build the house. And I continue. I plan. The steel rods, the concrete, the roof, then the decoration of the house, the furniture, and so on. Meanwhile, life keeps moving. The children become almost unknown. Meanwhile, the tremendous pressure of this project, this end, has taken possession of me, of my organs that get ill. The project turns into an Armageddon of conflicts and contradictions. All creativity is lost. It doesn't matter if the end is the house, a girl, some occupation, a career, anything. The importance lies in you being aware that a pursued aim turns a person into a slave, and it cannot be escaped. Then there are the ends that are not conscious, like the construction of a house. These are more subtle, like being accepted by others, something that can be found very deeply in the emotions and mind of mankind. A man will take thousands of actions just to be accepted by others, just so that the rest will say, he is cool. There are aims that are still even more subtle, such as the fear of loneliness. It is found in the depths of our heart. We pursue many ends unknowingly. Here are the general causes that move the human being, the slave, the unthinking person. We'll start with fear. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of old age, fear of death, fear of losing health, fear of losing freedom, fear of losing love, fear of criticism, and so on. The great majority of these fears lie in the deepest part of your essence and our powerful motive force. You must definitely know about them and which ones affect you. There are also many apparent needs that move the human machine, like the need to survive, the physiological needs of eating, sleeping, and making love, the needs of security, of social acceptance, and of the ego. Fears and our needs are in the deepest part of our emotions and our minds. Today, 95% of the people who are pursuing the wrong goals Let's take as an example an individual who is not afraid of criticism. He should pursue all the ends that a regular man would not care to do. You see, you must uncover all the goals that you are after right now in a conscious or subconscious way. You must know which are the real motives behind those ends. I already gave you the fears behind those ends. I gave you the clue for man's fears and needs. You must do this every day for 49 days until you fully know what moves you to do this or that. And what moves you is really your master. If a driver moves a vehicle from one place to another, the vehicle is not aware of the driver, the mover. The vehicle is the server. It is a slave to what the driver wants. You as well, myself too, in the past, are being moved by your drivers. Behind our ends are our masters. If you are a candidate for liberation, ready to stop being an unthinking person, a machine, a slave, and are ready to start work, then work with this principle in a serious manner. My slave friend, start now. You must establish a goal to which you dedicate daily 1 hour, a full hour of meditation and of thinking and reflecting with all of your essence, with all your spirit, finding the causes of your ends in which you are your masters. What are the fears and the needs behind your ends? You have to unveil them so you can start the process of your liberation. They will not help you to do this end. They only hold you back. As long as you are not conscious of them, and until you come face to face with them, you will continue to follow their ends. These ends are not yours, right? They are their ends, and you would remain being their slave. From the 20 people you selected earlier, verify from them to your own satisfaction that the ends you pursue today have been accomplished by them. Yet, they do not have the peace, the tranquility, the joy, and the enjoyment, the plenitude, the satisfaction that life offers us. Simply put, they have completed, as good and skilled laborers, the ends of other masters that have pushed them without their realization throughout their entire lives. Yes, my friend, start by accepting the idea and then acknowledging that you are a machine. For the next 49 days, observe yourself carefully, inside and out. Observe other people too. Investigate, question, and reflect until you realize and can clearly see the point that we are machines working for ends, and that we ourselves did not choose. You should start to see now why I say we're slaves. If you study this message over and over, following its instructions, and setting your mind to it, you will arrive to where your present master is at this time. They will start to respect you. They will start to realize that you are a person that has awakened to reality and to the laws of life, the same laws given by the Creator, which state that they must make way for you. They have to give you your passport for your liberation. This is the way it is. We have lived through this before, so put your hands to it. Work at it. You can join us if you decide to do it. Very well, my slave companion. I hope that you will work with this first part of the program. And if you arrive at the completion of these exercises included, you will find a tremendous situation. First, you will realize the condition of your slavery, how you became a machine. You will see that you do not have free will. You will notice that you have been manipulated throughout your life. You will know the futility of your pursuits and the lack of importance of all the aims and goals you had set yourself to follow and how they affected you. Even though all of this is true, don't be disappointed, my friend. You will experience an emptiness after the many things that occupy your mind are cleaned out. All the ideas that caused you to run in circles will lose their value and effect on you. But dare to do it. Do not be afraid, even though you are going to die. You will experience a psychological death. This is the death the ancient initiation stories talk about, which indicates that you are renouncing all the old false ideas and goals and are needing a true teaching that will help you to learn to be a free person. Very well. Starting from where you are now and being judicious and prudent, you can move on. Let's continue with our plan. There is only one goal. All the rest are false. This I will emphasize to the maximum. The goal states the following. Everything that leads you to your evolution, towards your plan of life, is real. The goal is not apart from you. Nobody is going to inform you of it because nobody else knows it. You are the only one. When you seriously start to work at this and make contact with your spirit, with the creative spark that our common Father placed in you, when you arrive at this point, you will know what your purpose is in this life and who you are. Why and for what reason are you here? Why are you the way you are? What is it that you have to do? How do you have to do it? What means do you need to do it? Until this point arrives, you will remain in the dark, my friend. You will not be able to use the help of others, and you will not yet have your own plan of life. So, you are being alerted and warned of your present condition. But those of us that have preceded you along this way guarantee that if you follow the cosmic laws, and if you carry through with the 12 principles of the evolution and the liberation of man, ready to pay the fair price for your liberation, you too will arrive to this goal. The decision and the effort is up to you. You can do one of two things. You either follow the example of the man who, after being in jail for many years, was freed and didn't know what to do or where to go. It was easier for him to continue living the slave life than to choose the life of a free man. He did not know what to do with his freedom. You can follow this example and go back to continue living in your jail, pursuing useless ends. Or you can decide to try to break out and then come out fully equipped to make use of your liberation towards the ends for which you were created. Let's look at the second part of our principle now. It states that if you pursue an end, you are chained to suffering. But if you would act as if every individual thing was an end in itself, you would be free. If everything would be done as an end in itself, you can be free. What is the meaning of this? Let's use again the example of the house. Let's assume that it is a real goal, that it is a goal of your spirit and something you must do. All right. A man who is on his way to liberation will not permit the general idea of the house taking entire possession of him until he's blind. No way. He has made the decision to build the house, but he is awake. The house is for his service, not for him to serve the house. Meditate on this, because the house is being made to serve his purposes, not for him to become a slave of its construction. This is clear, right? Then, if he has to start by buying the lot, he will turn the lot into an end for itself. He forgets the house and thinks about the lot, as if getting the best lot is the most important thing he can do. When this is completed, he will approach the other phases of construction in the same manner. each as an activity in itself. He expects to do the best at every step. Let's use another example. Let's suppose I am a farmer who has decided to plant 500 apple trees. The reason or end use is not important. All right? If I am a smart and conscious man, the first thing I would do is to continuously remind myself that the 500 apple trees are to serve my life purpose, placing the whole of my attention on preparing the land. Then, most important thing is the action itself. I will live today getting the maximum enjoyment and satisfaction by placing all of my efforts to the preparation of the land. This is my evolution. My evolution is not based on getting the fruit out of the 500 trees. My evolution is that today I am alive. I am awake. Today I will work on preparing the land. And today I will give all I can to do the best I can in the best possible way I can. This is where my evolution today would be centered. To continue this idea and the example of preparing the land, the next step would be to ask, what do I have to do now? Let's say the answer is the land needs mowing. Okay, of all the possible ways to do this, what is the best way? Is there a better method, a more perfect way to mow the land? And so forth. As you can see, candidate for liberation, the apple trees are very far away in our mind and actions, and the fruit of the trees are very, very far away in the future. The most important thing is that now the only thing I do is mow the land in the most perfect way I can today. The more perfectly I do this, the more perfect will be my contribution to my life plan and my evolution. So the 500 trees and the fruit they can provide are only the instrument. They are the reason I use to experience evolution and fulfill my goal and plan. Let's see if it is clear now. If you would do everything as if it were an end in itself and not a means to arrive to an end, you would free yourself. In the above example, the individual that only cares for the fruit of the 500 apple trees as his end lives only for harvesting X number of pounds by such and such a time. When he starts with the soil, he is working only with the means. Water is only a means. This man is focused on an end and lives only for that. Now, as a candidate for liberation, you must start to think differently. You know well that if you mow the land perfectly, you can experience all the satisfaction and evolution of doing it that way. If you later water the soil in the most perfect way, you will experience that too, and so on. The 500 plants will grow and ultimately present you with their fruit. This will come as a result, as a natural and logical result of the perfection that you placed into every step along the way, each step being the instrument by which you experience evolution day after day. Your satisfaction and evolution come to you this way, not with the fruit that will bear someday. It is with each step that we evolve and move forward. Let's look at another example. In this moment, I am transmitting to you a message, and I'm not thinking at all of the reason for its transmittal. I do not think that you can receive it and carry it through in the future. My evolution does not depend on your carrying it through. My evolution is based on my applying the best of myself in the effort to experience evolution, trying to do it the best way I can. If at the end of my message there is success, each little step you take to carry through with this message becomes an end in itself. When I finish this message, I will have finished my effort. The end will be that I did it to the best way possible, the most perfect way. I could get this message to you. In the same manner, if you don't listen to this message with the aim of being liberated, but instead place all your attention and understanding to the utmost everything in it, you will benefit today. You will have taken a step, a very important and fundamental step, in the understanding of this message. Then, if you do the first exercise and turn it into an end in itself, that is, to uncover the ends that you are after, the cause and motives for those ends will be your benefit. If you place all of your effort to do this in a perfect manner, you will be evolving step by step, and you will not be a slave of an end in the future, but of one you choose to experience today. While you open a notebook, ask yourself, what are the ends that I am after? There it is. If you try to do the task in the best and perfect way, if you place all your attention and interest in the present on this fact, you'll see the true results when you finish the analysis. This step is then an end in itself, which will take you logically to the next step, another end in itself. You'll never get lost managing your ends in this manner, and your ends, be they general, regional, national, or global, will bring your liberation as well. If a person is expectant and depends on results to be gotten in the future, he opens the door to all kinds of demons. The demons of doubt will visit his mind. Will I make it or not? What if I do not get it? Then starts the fear and insecurity. They take possession and will keep a person grounded. Now you know this is how it works. Let's go through the cycle with another example. Let's suppose I register at the university to be a physician. A slave would do it because it is fashionable to be a doctor, a good profession to earn money, and other reasons too. But those who do it for these reasons are only dependent on getting their degree. They go to the university for 7 years, and during those years do not even see one good day because of their fear, doubts, and insecurity, whether they will make it or not, if they will become successful or not. They will live in hell every day until they get their degree. A person's most probable condition is that he arrives worn out to his graduation because the effort will have been gigantic. Accomplishing this end with all the struggle, disturbances, and pressures is just a terrible burden. Had such a person been a candidate for liberation, an individual like you, he would simply get into the university, attend his classes, and when the professors talk, focus his attention. The only thing important to him is the lesson of that day. Then, in the task of the day, each task being an end in itself, he experiences his evolution. If he reaches the 4th year, let's assume he does, he will have evolved tremendously because he placed all his efforts, which were ends in themselves, into each step. This is clear now, right? Very well. With this tool in your hands, with this knowledge which I myself received from others, you can proceed as a candidate for liberation. The masters of humanity throughout thousands of years have been passing on this message to each slave and each possible candidate for liberation. I think if you listen to it, and when listening to each part, you approach it as an end in itself, you will perfectly understand its essence. You will be able to use the explanation I gave you to the service of certain goals that you have pending within you. What do I mean by this? Let's suppose that in your analysis you can eliminate a whole lot of ends that you have been wrongly pursuing. Okay? But there are others that you cannot eliminate because you are involved in them right now. You must write these ends down. Then break them down into logical steps and convert your big goal into many smaller steps of time and actions. Turn the passing of each hour and action into an end in itself. This is clear, right? Very well. If you follow an end, you chain yourself. But if you do everything as if it was an end in itself, you will be freed. Get yourself 100 sheets of paper. Write down this principle, the two parts of it, and place these sheets everywhere, in your car, in your clothing, in your bed, in the bathroom, everywhere. Look at it for 49 days, then apply it to each and every one of the ends that you identify. If you can cancel some of them, do it. You have to apply this principle to the others. Break up each part into many little parts, making each an end in itself. But this and the other parts of the exercise will not be of any use to you unless you are ready to pay the price. The price, candidate for liberation, is as follows. It is not money. It is not the cost of this message. It is something else. Select 7 people that you like, and who like you too, and who live in your small world. You have to give yourself the task of teaching these 7 people how to apply this principle in their lives. Yes, they must be people who are candidates for liberation. That is, people who are not opposed to everything, nor people who think that they know everything. They cannot be people that are selfish, full of vanity, blind, and deaf. No, they must be people who have received their share of hard blows, people who have realized that they are going around in circles, who realize that they are being driven. Transmit this message to them and start to work with them. Remember, don't approach this as an end. Be ready to live it day by day with no exceptions. If you choose Mr. X as one who should have this material, don't set your mind to guide him to his liberation. If you decide you can talk with him today, give yourself only this purpose for your action of today: to open a line of communication with him and converse. In this manner, you convert your first action into an end in itself. If you can make him listen to you, both of you communicating together, then you will have reached your purpose, and you will have done it in the present. Make a conscious and reasoned decision, something solid, something you could convert into an end in itself, and do it now. At another time, when you're ready, you can set up the second step of actually giving him the message, another act in itself. Don't forget to ask yourself the basic question: what is the best and perfect way to transmit the following message to Mr. X? Let's suppose that you know the best way. Then what do you do to communicate the message to him? Think about it over time. Then go and do it. This is an end in itself. It is in the present moment. If you are able to do it, you will experience evolution. You will have learned to really communicate with somebody else. You see, someday the liberation of Mr. X will be a fact. It will progress, step by step, as the normal flow of life in this principle. We are not individual entities, candidate to liberation, because if you are married, if you have children, if you live with your parents, you are concerned about them and their goals as well. They have expectations of you. They expect from you something very concrete. But you, with your example, and indirectly through your teaching, can help them in their liberation too. Will you be a slave for life? There are situations we cannot change. Perhaps you will not be able to change your father or mother, brothers or children. You might be able to change your occupation, and even include working with these principles as part of your purpose in life, and working with those close to you. One day, their liberation will become a fact, and each will work on their plans of life. Yes, my friend, it is difficult, but it is sensational to be free, to wake up every day with purpose for the day, being all of them ends in themselves, all being small steps in a logical sequence. This method will bring you your evolution and great satisfaction each day. You will be radiant. In your hands are the keys to liberation. Be sure you have the other 11 principles which are intimately connected to this one, and then start hands-on. May our common Creator provide you with courage, value, and illumination. May He give you the ability to know the difference between what is real and what is illusion. May our Creator bless you, care, and keep you. But He will not do so unless you take the first steps. Go for it. Thank you.